in the um, some of which you've already seen in the participation guidelines. And so this is just to give us all a fresh, warm welcome and encourage our continuous participation and excitement on the WhatsApp group. So if you are excited to be here, please feel free to use the emojis, the chat room to drop some reactions, and let's get our energy levels up to speed. I see you, Henry. I see you, Mirabel. I'm not sure who Samsung SM is, but if you could try and rename yourself, it might help to also um, know who we're referring to. But yeah, I see you, Bakari. Yeah, with the confetti and the love. Yeah, I see you, Victor. Don't forget, if you have teammates, make sure that they get to join as well. Make sure that they receive the link so they can join in. Thanks, Bridget. Okay. Um, I'll be moving on to the next couple of slides, which just basically cover all the details that were in the event guideline. And I'll also use that as an opportunity to answer a few questions and share what is exciting about, the problem space that we're trying to solve for, the different areas, and then also talk about the tool that we're using to build. And so, Bridget or Mirabel, please, I know some people are in waiting room. Please, if you see anyone, kindly admit them, kindly welcome them. All right. So moving on, I would want to quickly touch on the fail forward philosophy. And this is really important, right? Because the whole essence of this particular hackathon is not just to build out an idea or build out your cool ideas, but it's to also try to get into a discomfort zone. Let me use that phrase, where you get to actually put your idea in front of people and get feedback on whether or not it works, right? And I'll explain what I mean by that. So, one of the key things that I'm looking forward to in the webinar for tomorrow is on problem framing, and it would really shed some light on how to pay attention to real problems that real people are having. And then there's another webinar that's on product validation, right? And the reason why this is important is because anyone can come up with an idea, anybody can build something, but solving a real problem that people face, you need to be committed to that, right? So the fail forward philosophy is essentially saying, let's test, let's try things, let's figure out what problems people are having, let's come up with ideas and solutions and give it to them, put it in their hands, let them use it, and then get feedback from them and use that feedback to improve what we're building, right? And so it's not necessarily trying to make a perfect solution first before bringing it out. And this is also personal for me because in the past, I have some perfectionist tendencies where I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing comes out looking crisp and clean and, satisfies my own preferences before putting it in or showing it to anybody. And I have gotten burnt. I've had instances where I built something and nobody wanted it. All right. Now, it happens to even the best of us. But the real success is where you learn from that mistake and move forward, right? So a lot of the things that we're going to encourage during this 10-day build period is to pick progress over perfection, meaning that you want to get feedback and work with it as opposed to putting out the perfect solution. So we're going to be sharing a lot, right? Whatever it is you're building, whatever thoughts you have, you're going to share on the general channel. There's also a mentors group where you can ask questions to some of the mentors who are going to be available for check-ins, and I'll touch on that very soon. But share your progress, share what you're learning, share what you're unsure about, ask questions. If you have any questions, ask, and make sure that you show your work, show your progress, right? And whatever feedback you get, see it as an opportunity to learn And I know that there's definitely the competitive aspect of this program, but the goal is to learn. And lastly, iteration over giving up. If something doesn't work, try something else. If one thing doesn't work, rather try something else. And the way we're going to structure the build, or what I recommend as an approach towards building, is that you don't get caught up or too excited about the features, right? Because you're using an AI tool, and if any of us here is familiar with AI tools, they can give you a lot of um, AI slop or hallucination, right? So don't get caught up on the features. Now, there'll be more technical sessions, right? But I'm just trying to give you an understanding of what the fail forward philosophy entails, right? Progress over perfection, learning over winning, iteration over giving up. Don't don't stop trying. All right. Next up, I will touch on how to participate in this hackathon. I mean, by virtue of registering and attending this mandatory webinar, you're already in. Um, most of us are coming on board as individual or as a team. And the truth is, whichever one you are, there is an advantage, right? There is a pro that you get to benefit from. So for solo builders, individuals, you have full creative control, all the prize goes to you. And I mean, you have to only work with yourself, right? So if you are comfortable with managing all aspects, and if this is you, what you are going to be doing is basically taking on wearing the hat of a product manager, a product designer, and an engineer, right? And now you don't need to have the technical knowledge. A lot of the explanations will be done in the webinars, but you have to assume that role as um, the core builder on it for yourself, right? And so it makes it easier for you to make decisions. And I would encourage you to use that to your advantage. So make quick decisions, figure out what works, what doesn't work as quickly and as fast as possible. But for teams, you can divide responsibilities across yourself. There'll be instances where you would need to speak to real people and real users, get feedback, right? And use that feedback to improve your solution. And so you can have someone who is, delegating, or who has the responsibility delegated to them of speaking to users. You can have somebody else who is documenting, working on the slides. You can have somebody else who is actually building out the solution using the AI tool. However you choose to um, frame or structure yourselves, it's very important that everyone takes full ownership and accountability of what you're doing, right? And leverage on your diverse skill sets. So if you register as a team and maybe someone pulls out and you want to switch to a solo builder, you can do so between now and the 29th of November. If you are adding new members to your team, that's fine. You can just send a message on the WhatsApp group and we'll take it up from there. Okay, next up, um, we already gave some context to the major sectors that we're focusing at, from sustainability, which has to do with things like renewable energy, waste management, climate issues, and all of that, to mobility, traffic issues, transportation, logistics, delivery, and then to agriculture, from things like food security, cost of products, educating people in agri, supply chain management, and then there's fashion, from local, merging or bringing local um, artisans with global opportunities, connecting designers to customers, or even merging the sustainability sector with fashion. And here's the interesting thing: you can choose to operate in more than one sector. I don't know how agriculture and fashion will work, Sha. Maybe you want to use create something that allows people to use um, waste from their food to make jewelry or something. I don't know, but you can merge different sectors and you get extra points for that as well, right? And I'll show you some examples of products or ideas that you can work on. But remember, you are not getting stuck or hung up on the idea. You are focusing on figuring out a problem. For some of you, it's a problem that there are problems that you've already identified that you are passionate or interested in solving, and that's fine. The real point goes into being able to accurately frame the problem to say, this is the person that has this problem. This is how it hurts them. And these are some of the ways they currently try to solve that problem. And this is how our solution is going to ease that process. And we're going to put it in front of them to interact and give feedback on whether or not it does solve the problem. That is it. That is the whole process. That is what you're going to be focusing on for this 10-day build, right? So the ideas, these are just ideas to get you thinking, right? For sustainability, you have waste sorting in communities. How do you help people know what is recyclable and what is compost, what is not recyclable? How do you manage water? How do you manage waste? How do you manage waste using a dashboard or an app, right? For agriculture, how do you connect farmers to buyers? How do you help them identify the different types of pests? How do you help them know prices, right? For mobility, helping people find other people that are going their way. There are so many ideas. There are a lot of ideas, right? I wouldn't recommend any of these ones because the the real benefit is if you are able to observe by yourself and see what problems exist and then um, validate this problem, right? So that's what I would recommend. Then, um, yeah, how communication and interactions would be done, right? So every day you have between 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., right? And you can choose to schedule however you want, but this is what we recommend. In the morning on WhatsApp, you can look out for updates from either the community manager, Bridget, or other peers who are sharing their updates, who are asking questions, who are also giving support, right? And you can get inspiration from doing this to know, to get maybe new insights, access to resources that you are not able to find, whatever it is, because I know it might seem a little overwhelming. No, trust me, it will get overwhelming at some point. But that's why you need to stay plugged in, right? And keeping engaged. Then we have the build hours, which is pretty much the whole of your day, right? You can build, you can test, you can iterate, you can access mentors for support, you can ask questions. There's going to be office hours where each mentor would have their calendar available. We'll share that as well on the mentors group chat, where you can see the availability and drop your questions. Now, the thing about asking questions, when you have a session with a mentor, you'll be introduced to them and you know their area of specialty. It's very important that whatever question that you ask, you direct it specifically to somebody so that they can answer. So, for example, if you have a mentor who is touching on problem framing, right? Your question has to be directed to the person. Don't leave it open-ended. Always mention the person. Introductions will be done tomorrow on the WhatsApp group, on the channel for the mentors, so that you know who is who. So please, you're encouraged to join that channel. If you haven't, you can find it on the community platform. Join the channel and direct your questions to somebody. Don't leave any questions open, right? Always direct to somebody. And then in the evenings, you can come on the group to share your learnings, challenges, any issues that you faced, just to ensure that you are tracking your priorities and also learning from what you've done today and putting into practice something better for tomorrow. Now, there are going to be three essential webinars. The first one is on problem framing, like I've been saying, and you get access to tools that give you an idea of how to frame problems, how to define who has the problem, why it's a problem, how they're currently solving it, and how you can introduce a solution that makes it easier for them. Now, this is going to be by 7 p.m. tomorrow. It's very important that you join. If for some reason you're not able to make it, the recordings will be made available. Please watch the recording so that you have full context and you have ideas. These are some of the most amazing product people that I know, and they are really passionate about what they do. So take advantage of this opportunity. Then the next one will be about both mastery, not just both. To be honest, all AI tools are the same, right? AI prompting is pretty much straightforward. Whether you're using a tool like Lovable, whether you're using a tool like Claude, using Google's to AI Studio, whatever it is you're using, right? It's the same thing. So whatever you learn from that will help you know how to maximize your tokens or your credits, right? And then you'd also know how to use contextual engineering on other platforms as well. And don't get too freaked out by the name. Contextual engineering just means providing enough context of what you're trying to do, how you want the LLM to go over the solution of creating the final solution, right? It's very interesting. And I think the best way to get into it is honestly to practice, right? So the last webinar is on market validation, which will be on December 2nd, 7 p.m. as well. If you notice, everything's around 7 p.m. And we feel like this is a good enough time where everyone is done for the day and they can easily join in. So you learn how to validate, you learn how to test, you learn how to analyze feedback, and then you'd also implement whatever it is you're learning into your demo. Now, I'm going to share some, before the Boat Mastery webinar, I'm going to touch a bit on some things that I know will be helpful, right, on how to use the tool. So this is a recommended strategy of how you're supposed to approach your build period. So today is day one, and I know that we wanted everyone to be on this call. We wanted to have this on the 22nd, no, on the 24th, I think, just so that there's the orientation happens before the build period. Well, we noticed that some people registrations were just picking up towards the end, and so we left this open. But by now, it's expected that you've already started speaking with your users, the people who are going to be your core users for the problem space that you're addressing. Now, I'll share a link to the resources that you can use to start conducting interviews. But I can also tell you for a fact that even with the existing AI tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever one you use, you can quickly flesh out a user interview guide, right? That allows you to speak to someone. Another way to do it is to share questionnaires, but I don't really fancy questionnaires because they don't really give you that direct interaction. So for interviews, you need to speak to 3 or 5 people, right? Between 3 to 5, that's a good number. Don't speak to less than 3 people. Don't speak to more than 5 people. At 5, you already get a sense of, how people feel about a certain thing. You already know what the real pain is. And remember that the idea is just the idea. It's just your idea. What really makes it worthwhile is if it solves the problem. And the only way to know if it solves the problem is to talk to the people who are hurting. Now, before you even start building the final solution, you should have something like a basic prototype. What is a basic prototype? It could just be a simple landing page that um, frames or that captures statements of what problems they are having and then proposes a solution and even uses things like a sign up form to register interest. So it could be something as simple as saying, will you be interested in signing up for this? Now, I'll give you a secret. Sign-ups are good, but they're not really the main thing. What gives you validation is whether somebody says they can pay for something. So if you want to go a step further to say, okay, if this is a problem, sign up now to get access to this product for maybe 700 naira per month or 1,000 naira per month. Like if somebody says, okay, this solution, I'm feeling pain enough that I want this solution and I'm willing to part away with my money, that's validation, right? So in the days 4 to 8, that's when you should be aggressively doing this. But for now, you want a basic prototype that just captures the problems that you've identified and gives you a good enough idea on how to solve them. Now, the reason why it seems like a lot, but the reason why we know that you can do all of this is because the AI tools do most of the heavy lifting. You just have to you just have to focus on the right thing, right? By now, if you have a problem area that you want to focus on, you should already start recruiting interview participants and asking them questions that help you define a problem statement. I'll share some resources, like I mentioned, that can give you an idea of how to capture these problem statements, who is affected, how they currently solve the problem, and what an ideal solution will look like. And then in the final days, you just be validating your product, like polishing the final, maybe some glitches here and there, making sure that it's functional. Now, if you are building a tool that, for example, users are required to sign up or log in, I would ask that you don't create the authentication yet. Tell the AI specifically not to create authentication, but to simulate the process. This is because you want to minimize your token usage. And this, by tomorrow, you get more clarity on what that looks like. But for now, I think I want to get, maybe by show of hands, right? I can't see the hands. I need to see the hands. By show of hands, how many people have already started using both? How many people have created a both account? I can't see any hands though. I don't know if hands are up. Okay, I can see a hand. Okay, Henry. Um, yes, I can see two hands are up. Henry and Carlo David. I'm waiting for more hands though. Then Victor, Carlo, Henry and Victor. Okay, someone said they don't know what boat is. Fantastic. Who else again? Ibitoye, um, anybody, okay, who else doesn't know what boat is? Can type in the chat. Who else doesn't know what boat is? Okay, for the sake of time, I'll just go ahead and explain. So as you can see here, Bolt is an AI-powered platform that lets you build products without coding, right? It allows even people who are non-technical to type out what they want in the chat box and it creates it, right? Um, I'll share access to the resources, and from the resources folder, you can watch videos or tutorials on how to start prompting with Bolt, right? And it allows you to create applications without writing the code yourself. Now you can choose to edit the code after it has generated, but ultimately to do the heavy lifting for you. So that is Bolt. I want to also find out how many people have accessed the premium subscription. Anyone? So nobody has been able to access the Bolt subscription. Not yet. Looking for the promo code. Huh. Interesting. Okay. You know what? Let's do something. Thanks for that, for the feedback. Carlo David. Yeah, what we're going to do is I want everyone to create an account with Bolt. So just in your browser, you go to bolt.new. I'm going to share the link in the chat. Bolt.new, but don't do that yet, right? After the webinar, go to bolt.new and then create an account. When you create, yeah, there was information saying not to use it yet. Fantastic. Thank you for paying attention. I want you to create an account. When you create an account, you would be given 300,000 credits first. And every day you get 300K credits. Every day, 300K, right? If you don't use it today to finish and then tomorrow they give you a fresh 300K. So the reason why I didn't want you to use it was I wanted you to first of all play around with the free credits, see what you can do with it, and then save the 10 million credits for when you're ready to start working. So you can actually delay till like day 3, right? Delay till day 3, till after the bolt session, because you can do a lot in one day. You can actually build out your solution in one day. But for now, we are focusing on figuring out the problems that we want to solve, who has those problems, and making sure that we're paying attention to the right thing. You can use 2 days, 3 days to build out your solution with both. But I want you to also understand how to maximize your token usage. So open the account, use the free tokens that you get, play around, finish it today. By tomorrow, you get more. Finish it. When you feel like, okay, I think I get the hang of this. I think I get the hang of this. Then you can activate. So someone is saying, for someone who has been using both before now, please, I'm confused. Please, could you um give more context to your question? You can just edit the question if you made a mistake. Okay. I'll just quickly continue because we're still going to have more opportunities to ask questions on the WhatsApp group. But for now, I just want to quickly cover the submission requirements in the remaining time that we have. So, 4 things are critical when you are submitting your assignment or you're making your submission for your project. You have to host your project by publishing it, and there'll be instructions on how to go about that. So you are going to share the link, and then you also do a quick demo, right? Just record yourself using it. You can use tools like Loom or your computer's screen recorder to record a 3-minute video, just saying what you're building, who you're building it for, what your product does. Simple. Then you type in the form submission form a description of the project, and then leave some information about your teams. If you're an individual, just say I am the only one that worked on this. But if you have team members, write out what each team member was responsible for. And then the deadline for submission is on December 5th by 12 a.m. or 11:59 p.m. Right? So the reason why your deployment URL is important is because even before watching the video, they're going to go to your project, right? So this is what your URL would look like. Your project.bolt.host, right? Or since you have a pro plan, you can add it to a custom domain, but that's not necessary. Just submit the URL. If your URL is not working, it can lead to a disqualification. So submit early. The submission form will allow you to update your responses, so you can even submit before the submission time. I think I'll share what the timeline would look like shortly. For your video, remember I said 2 to 3 minutes. So just say what your problem statement is, show how it works, show the key features, and then share insights on how you improved it based on user feedback, how you validated the problem, and then what you are looking to do next to scale it. Remember, these are not final projects. We're not asking you to build Facebook or Uber. It's just to create a solution to a problem, and it's a prototype or an MVP that has potential to be improved, right? So we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for progress. So in your video, say what you do next, especially if it's something that is critical to solving the problem. Um, make sure that the quality is good. You can host on YouTube or Vimeo, so that it's publicly accessible. Because you might not be able to upload directly on the form. So just upload on YouTube and then share the link. Or you can upload on Google Drive, make it accessible, make it public so that it can be easily accessed by the judges. And yeah, you should upload by December 4th latest. If you're uploading a video, upload the video quickly before you submit it. Then the next thing is your problem statement. So I remember I said there are four critical things. There's the bolt URL, there's the video, now there's the problem statement. Your problem statement is explicitly saying who is affected. Remember, for this example says smallholder farmers in Ogun State lack access to real-time market pricing, right? That's very specific. You're saying who, smallholder farmers, where, Ogun State, and what the issue is. They lack access to real-time market pricing. Better than saying farmers need information, right? Be specific, be clear, know who you're serving, who you're targeting, and then show evidences of your interviews, your observations, data points, and this will just there'll be a section where you can upload a deck or a presentation if you have artifacts apart from the site. If you want to add things like snippets from your user interviews, right? Or even pictures of you speaking to people, just proof or evidence that shows that you actually did the work of interacting with people. And the reason why this is important is because these are some of the things that the judges are going to be looking at, right? And make sure that you show the impact, show how the current solutions are failing to meet this need, and highlight the importance of your own solution. Uh, for example, you should include the core features, right? Include the user flows and interactions. What makes your own solution unique or different? And then include results from testing. Testing will look like having somebody join or sign up and then give you feedback. It could look like a call, right? Where you have a call and you record a transcript from the meeting and share the insights. It could look like a survey, like a questionnaire. So they use it, they interact, and then you ask them questions. Okay, um, how did it feel using this? Um, did it meet or solve the problem that you had? There are different questions that you could use. Just figure out ways to get tangible insight or feedback. Now, in the webinars to come, you'll get more clarity on how to do that. Some things to avoid. Don't talk about features that don't exist yet in your solution explanation, right? Avoid vague generalities without being specific. Don't just look for um, big words or buzzwords, right? Be specific. If you are identifying a target group, talk about it. If you are focusing on a particular use, maybe a persona, maybe you've spoken to four people and you're creating a persona around those people to just have one person that you are looking at as your ideal user. Use that specifically. Be um, detailed about it and try not to be very vague, and don't use generic marketing language. You're not trying to impress anybody. The goal is to show the effort or the work that you did in putting together the solution based on the problem that you identified. Then I think I already went through the difference between the solo and the team. But when you're submitting, these are information that you need to provide. Your name, your email. It must match the same email that you used to register, your university and program, and then your role on the project. So if you are a team, you want to make sure that you identify who did what, their clear contribution, and then the participant ID is both for individuals and teams. So each individual has a participant ID, each team has a participant ID. But when you are submitting, list out all the team members and what they did, right? Then for solo participants, just enter solo participant on the field. more details will be shared about this when the submission period starts. So this is just the timeline. The portal will be open on the 1st of December. Remember, I said that you can submit beforehand if you are ready, but make sure that if you make a mistake, if you identify any mistake, you are able to correct it, right? So the submission link will be shared on WhatsApp community, but on December 5th, 11:59, the portal will be closed. No more submissions will be allowed. Right. So in just to give an idea of how the judges are going to be sorry, excuse me, just to give an idea of how the judges are going to be scoring points, right? Please let me know if you can still see my screen, or if you can't. Something just happened. Can you still see my screen? Yeah, okay, thank you. Awesome. So the way the participants work, the judges scoring works is that the points are spread across things like innovation, technical implementation, how much of a solution fit um, it is, and then things like the presentation quality. So if you notice, the scores begin to shrink. The major things that are being paid attention to are the innovation, technical implementation, and problem solution fit. And I'll explain what each of these things mean, right? So for innovation and originality, we want to see how you're able to bring a fresh perspective to a whether familiar or unfamiliar problem. How are you able to use some of the core AI to solve this problem? And how do you differentiate from existing alternatives, right? And how does it cater to the Nigerian context? Remember, you're solving for people in Nigeria, not in Silicon Valley, right? So, someone is asking if I could zoom in a bit. You know what? Hold on. Let me try something. Mm, I don't want to.
So we can see not just the Zoom, but other things on your screen as well.
Oh, I see. Okay. That means I have to be here. Is this better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I can't see the chat anymore. Or let me try this. Yeah, I can't see the chat anymore. Okay, so moving on. I was saying how well it ties to the Nigerian context. Remember, you're not solving for Silicon Valley. You are targeting people who are here, people who you can meet and see and talk to, real people that you get to interact with. So yeah, so this is a very important note. Innovation does not mean complexity, right? But it means how are you able to provide a simple solution in a way that it is creatively executed, right? So the judges are going to be looking out for that, and it scores 25 points. Technical implementation scores 20 points. So things like functionality, when I click on a button, does it click? When I navigate to a section, does it work? Don't put things that are not useful. The user experience, the way it feels. We know that not all of us are designers or engineers, but there's still a level of attention that you can pay. Remember that you're solving for a problem, and you don't want to create another problem when you're solving a problem. So the other problem that you might be creating is that your application is too difficult to use. You want to be sure that it's easy and looks neat. How again, I think I mentioned the effectiveness of your use of both and AI tools, not just both, other AI tools. Responsiveness, is it mobile friendly? These are just um, important things that the judges should pay attention to. Then the problem solution fit. This one is important as well. This one scores 20 points. Able to provide evidence of user research. Does your solution directly address the core need that you identified? So if your problem statement is saying that you are helping um, small scale farmers to know price of farm feeds or farm seeds for their produce, so that they can anticipate their costs. But then your application is showing something entirely different. That will be, you'll be scored poorly based on that. Validation, showing tests, maybe things like user signups. And at this, like I mentioned, at the early stage, you would not be using authentication, but you can collect information. You can collect things like emails, right? I think Bolt has a feature where you can store emails. So you can tell it to create a database that just collects email addresses. And these email addresses would be used to give a guarantee. Not just email addresses, though. They know that you've already told them that, look, this thing costs 1,000 naira a month. Are you interested? You're not collecting their credit card or payment information, but you are letting them know that this costs money. And after seeing how much it costs, they get to show that they are willing or they are interested by entering their email address, right? So that's that. Yeah, so don't say things like, oh, I think people need. Don't use your assumptions. Don't run with your ideas. Validate your ideas. Prove that the ideas mean something to someone, and address the root causes of the problems, not just the symptoms, right? Don't just do what feels nice or what is. There's something called vitamin and painkiller in the product world. So a painkiller is, I have headache, I need Panadol. You're giving me vitamin C, right? But a painkiller solves the problem almost immediately, while a vitamin is almost like a nice to have, and it can boost maybe your existing, like your boost your immune system, for example, but you already have an immune system. So just give you an idea. Then the judging process will take place after submission from the 6th to the 9th, right? And then the winners will be announced between the 9th and the 10th. And those winners would be invited to showcase their products live at the venue, which will be communicated to them. So these are the event details. All you need to do is just to have your laptop ready, have your slides if you are presenting, and be able to respond to questions that the judges asked. Now, in this registration form, there was an option for people to indicate if they would be able to attend in Lagos, or if they need what do you call it now, a proxy, if they have someone that can attend for them in proxy. Now, the thing about the proxy is that they must be able to answer the questions that the judges are going to ask on the spot. So you can't just send anybody, you can't just ask anybody. So if you're not in Lagos, and you need to, and you make it to the finalists, you need a proxy. Make sure that the person can answer the questions, the person knows about the product you are building. I know. So yeah, I think, yeah, so the price pool is broken down, and there are going to be gifts as well. But the grand prize is 400K, and the winner will be announced on the spot. Second place is 250K, and then yeah, all finalists would receive a certificate of recognition, the ability to also meet some of the judges and partners that are going to be there, and get media features, and also get a chance to be part of our growing community. Um, I think that is all for now. Yeah, so just in addition to what you gain, what you get, like I already mentioned, you get to learn how to use bots, but whatever you learn about bots can also be applied to other tools, and that's the beautiful part of it, right? You also get a portfolio project which you can use to showcase for job applications, interviews, and just even boast about what you've built. And I know for a fact that you are going to be able to make the most out of the learnings from this whole build process, right? So say only two learners. Everybody is a, right? If you understand the fail forward philosophy, right? You're not, you only fail if you don't learn. That's the only way you fail. As long as you learn, you are a winner. But still, it will be good to see you win the grand prize. So please um buckle up. Yeah. So for resources, you have access to mentors. You get to meet Isaac, Ugochukwu, Peter, Frank, Obi. I'll also be available. You can ask questions on the WhatsApp group on the channel for mentors, not the general channel, the one for there's a difference between the general channel and the channel for mentors. The general channel doesn't have the mentors, right? So if you have questions that are pertinent to the mentors, you have to ask on that channel. Yeah. Then there's a community manager, Bridget, who is available, and she'll be sending messages or attending to questions throughout the day, right? Then there's a resource library with templates, guides, cheat sheets, code examples, prompts, um, access to things that you can use to just speed up your process. Yeah. Just for little bit of housekeeping, we expect that everyone is respectful, right? Treat every person here with dignity, maintain integrity in your work. If you are using an open license or open source resource, make sure you give credit and attribution. Collaborate as well with your team members, your peers, um, and then have a growth mindset. Remember, that's part of the fail forward philosophy. And then, yeah, whether you are an experienced hackathonist, I saw some people saying that they have attended more than 3 or 4 hackathons in the past. Whether it's your first time, we are all experiencing this fail forward hackathon together for the first time, right? So, yeah, everyone is welcome. So, I think we're at the end. We have 10 days to build. There are 3 webinars. Look out for them. The first one is tomorrow. There are going to be 2 progress check-ins, right, to help you just see how well you're doing. If you need support, if you need an overhaul, right, there'll be the opportunity to. Yeah. So, it's time for a little surprise giveaway. And the way we're going to do this, I might need some help from our community manager or our co-host. Um, Mirabel, how are we doing this?
Okay, I think I can just call out the names of the people that are following us, and then if somebody can simplify if I called out their name. But I think you need to also let them know what who the giveaway, like what is the criteria for the giveaway.
Okay. So, yeah, I struggled to hear you a bit, but she was saying that we're going to take a look at our followers on Instagram and see if there's anyone here that is already following. And she also said to give an idea of what the giveaway is. So the giveaway is going to be a voucher, a 5K voucher on Chowdeck. Yeah. And so one of followers, someone who is following us, who was already following us before this call, is going to be the winner. So do we have anybody who, if you know that you were following before this webinar with your full chest, please indicate. Not that, as I mentioned, if you want to sharply follow, if you know now that you're already following, um, can you indicate? I'm seeing that someone has their hand raised.
I'm
Michael says you can still select those that sharply follow. Sorry?
I wanted to ask a question. I'm waiting for the end.
Okay. So I don't think we have anybody. Uh, um, so what
And
do
I
we do?
I remember I was
Do
just searching
what do
for
we
field
do? What do
for.
we do? Come again?
Remember, like I
No,
searched for
Michael, you
like
just followed now,
handle before the call, anyways.
but you didn't follow.
But I don't. But I'm following right now
Yeah, that would have been you.
because I saw that you're in partnership. You're in partnership with Winda. I think that was um the first post that came up. The one with Winda. Yes. So
Weaver.
I think yes, like part of your partners. I saw both Winda, and I know a third company as well. So I followed
Weaver is
Win.
Women in Business Academy.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So this particular giveaway is being sponsored by um Urban Effects. So I would share a link to our page for anyone who doesn't know about it yet, or um maybe okay, I can. Bridget, can you help me, or Mira, we're going to do a random selection. Okay. Yeah, so if you're on the call now, kindly follow so that we can. Okay. I'm seeing, I think only 3 people are followed. Only 3 people are followed. Oh, someone is saying they're not on IG. And they're not on IG we're not on X, sadly. So this is just for Instagram. But not to worry, there'll be more giveaways along the line. Thanks to our sponsors and partners. Okay. So what we're going to do will be to do a random selection. So I need
Okay,
us to
Jeffrey.
just.
Before you do a random selection, I'm so sorry.
Is
I
that
just on the
gift?
spot. Yes, now. I've been listening in. First
Hi,
of all,
gift. I didn't know you were here.
I,
Oh.
I'm here. Um,
Welcome, welcome. Go ahead.
I'm in the giveaway spirit. The lady that said that spoke earlier. What's her name?
Nunsi?
Lucy?
Nunsi.
Nusi. Nusi, can you unmute,
Please
please?
correct me if I'm wrong. Oh.
I'm here. Yes, it's Nunsi. Nunsi.
Okay, okay. Are you
Uh,
part of the Weiba community?
I'm not.
Gege.
I just
I don't think
follow Baba on on their socials.
Okay. Okay, 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 okay.
Join. I don't know if
Um,
it's an in community.
no, no, it's okay, it's fine. Favor has located you. Don't worry. You're even if you don't win in this random selection giveaway, please, Mirabe, just help in posting or sharing the our handle. Just send us a message on Instagram, Wiba in as Women in Business Academy. Your launch for tomorrow is on us. So send us a DM saying, "Oh, Nusi from the AI powered hackathon," and you get your launch money. Something to keep your
Wow,
mouth
look at
busy
that.
while you're trying to build during the hackathon.
Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Let's clap to that. Let's clap to that. I'm a bit disappointed because I was hoping that there'll be someone, at least one lucky person, who was already following us before the call started. And now I'm trying to think on my feet and figure out a way I'm even tempted to use bots to create a tool to help us randomly select somebody. It's just so much, it's a lot. So I would hand over to Mirabel to help us figure out what we are going to do. I know we're pressed for time, so quickly let's just have a verdict. What do we do? How do we do this? I'm seeing only three people. There's Amaha, there's Ghost Power, and Michael. Actually, I don't know, is Ninja Clinic here? No, okay. So it's actually just Ghost Power and Michael. So how do we do this? Do you do Tinko Tinko?
I don't know if you can hear me now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you can give it to Michael because he not only followed but went ahead to like all our posts.
Wow.
It's proactiveness for me.
Okay. Like I've already moved my hand. So Michael, you have been selected. Please send a DM, and you'll be attended to. Okay, so to quickly wrap up, thank you so much for your time. Once again, the Fail Forward Hackathon is partnered or sponsored by our beautiful and amazing partners. We have Urban Effect Media, we have WIBA, which is Women in Business Academy, and we also have friends from Imaginarium, which is a design agency, and we have our incredible friends from the African FinTech Foundry, whom you'll be getting to hear more about shortly. So let's all have an amazing rest of our time this evening. Fail forward, learn as quickly as rapidly as possible, and use all the confidence that you have to put out what you're doing so that you can get feedback on time. Thank you so much. I would hand over to Bridget if there are any final announcements. Thanks, guys. Is Bridget here? Okay. Okay, she said all further links will be shared in the community. All right, so please take advantage of the community, ask questions, and interact. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.